Today for Javier's fundamental physics class, I'm going to talk about and demonstrate phase cancellation of sound waves. So for me to show you how to do this, I will need stereo speakers, which right here, speakers. That's right. And I will need obviously something to play it with, which is I'm going to use this MacBook Pro with Logic. And I'm also going to demonstrate other things like whenever you're playing, how the sound changes, and I'll just play regular audio files and regular tones to demonstrate how phase cancellation happens and occurs. So there are two different types of phase interference when talking about cancellation of audio signals. It's constructive and destructive interference. Constructive, as it sounds like it adds to the interference. It doesn't really take away from the signal. It just makes it stronger. Destructive, of course, it destroys it. Just wipes the signal out. You can't even hear it sometimes. So, while saying that, I will show you what happens. Alright, first of all, I will show constructive interference. So for this, what I'm going to need is, all I'm going to do is just double the audio signal that I have right here in Logic. Which is, here's the first one, right here under the frequency analyzer, and then here's the second one. First of all, I'm going to show you what the first one looks like on the frequency analyzer. Now, I'm going to show what it looks like when I double the signal. So technically this would be constructive interference because it's adding to the audio signal. And here it is. It actually kind of peaks it out because it's a little strong of a signal. So what it was doing was just adding to the signal. It just added the amplitudes up, doubled it. So for this example, I'm going to use the same song, and what I'm going to do is first of all, I'm going to play it, let you listen to it again. This is before. And now what I'm going to do is flip the left side channel out of phase. And when I do this, take note of how it sounds very thin, no fullness, and here you go. Hear how it went really thin. Very flat sounding, no fullness, and that's destructive interference right there. It's before when talking about constructive and destructive interference, what you need to know is about these little diagrams that I'm showing before I speak. Is that the bottom parts of them, the lower part is called the trough and the upper part is called the crest. And whenever it shows the crest and the crest lining up perfectly, that means it's just adding to it. That's constructive interference. But whenever it shows the crest and the trough opposite of each other, like the crest and the trough are touching, that is destructive interference. Alright, to conclude my podcast, I'd like to say sound waves interact differently, causing constructive and destructive interference. The crests and troughs align or they're opposite, causing them to be either constructive or deconstructive. So, I hope my podcast has shown a little info about phase cancellation.